This was from, let's see, Dr. Roy, if you would, from Dallas, Texas. And there was this doctor from Detroit, got 175 years in jail for doing hundreds of surgeries on people that didn't need them just to get the money and so on. And so these things go on all the time because there's no oversight by anybody. There's nobody checking diagnoses. There's nobody checking billing and so forth. And so when you look at them, for instance, just infections in hospitals. There's 2 million infections each year in hospitals, of which 90,000 die every year. Now, Bonnie, what would happen if Iran or North Korea were to send over an intercontinental ballistic missile with either a biological weapon or a nuclear weapon and injure or infect 2 million people in a large population center in America and kill 90,000? It'd be war, wouldn't it? Well, here's one trade that does it every year in their workplace in the hospital. They don't even get an OSHA ticket because they're self-policing. There's no oversight by anybody. They literally get away with murder, and nobody seems to care as long as insurance is paying the bill. Well, I've been working very hard, and I've had so many doctors call me. They thought they were speaking to me on a private phone, but they were on the radio live, and they threatened to murder me and all sorts. They name themselves, and the clinics they're working with and say, don't come to our clinic unconscious because you won't leave alive, and this sort of thing. I said, well, let me clarify what you're saying. You're saying you're going to murder me if I come in a helpless state. Of course, they say yes. And so there's hundreds of thousands of people who heard them say that.
How did being a practicing veterinarian affect your view of health care?
Well, first of all, Bonnie, we don't have health insurance. We have life insurance for expensive horses and things like that, but we don't have health insurance for any animals. And so we learn to maximize and sort of make dependable, predictable production of milk, for instance, by supplementing milk cows, dairy cows. Every cow will give a gallon and a half of milk instead of some giving a gallon and a half and some giving a quart and some giving a pint. We can predict that if you feed them this much and give them these supplements, they're all going to give a gallon and a half of milk. And the same thing is true with how many eggs chickens lay, how many pounds of meat they'll make every week as they grow. By giving these nutrients, we were able to eliminate every birth defect you can name, and 10 times that many you can't. We've tripled the lifespans of animals by supplementing them. And so when I did this big project with the National Institutes of Health, where I did my 20,000 autopsies and 20 million chemistries and 20 million slide special stains looking for the pollution piece, it was very obvious that we were able to eliminate 900 different diseases and all birth defects that still plague people. And so I began to, as a physician, use these veterinary treatments on my human patients. My patients were very kind of giggly about that. They say, if you don't like what your doctors do or you're not happy with the results or lack of results, go see Wallach. Now, he'll treat you like a dog, but you get better. And so we began doing this in 1978, and sure enough, we're getting the same results in people as we did in animals. And so it's very clear that we could, and it's their doctors who take them off the heart transplant list. It's their doctors who release them from nursing homes when they have Alzheimer's disease and terminal Parkinson's disease. It's their doctors who take them off of dialysis when we get them. Even if they haven't urinated in 10 years, we can get them off of dialysis. If they're getting 6 dialysis treatments a week because they haven't urinated in 10 years. And the quickest one was 2 weeks, but it normally takes a couple of months, but the quickest one was 2 weeks, got them urinating, and another month or so they're off of dialysis. But it's very easy. Type 2 diabetes, very simple nutritional deficiency. We've known it for 80 years. And so we can take somebody who's been a diabetic, type 2 diabetic for 30 years, and in 30 days their doctors will say, I don't know why, but you're not a diabetic anymore.
Wow, that's incredible. You spent 2 years in Africa. What were you doing there?
Well, yes, I was going to go there indefinitely.